Hello, and I forgot. Put my front of the hat in the front. But yeah, that's right. Some of you like to have the front of the hat in the back. So let's see. Do you like this better? Okay, we'll go with that today. I do have a side question before the Bible story, and it's pretty important, I think. Do you want to become a better reader? Do you want to improve in your reading skills so that you can not only say the words, but also remember the important stuff that you read? Uh, I am sure your answer is yes, I do. Now I know it may seem hard sometimes, but don't you ever give up because you can do it. I know because when I was a kid, I was able to do it even though it was hard sometimes. Now, because I care about you, and I really do, I have some good advice about something that can definitely improve your reading skills. It's pretty simple, and here it is. After I read a Bible story, I recommend that you practice reading the same Bible story. And after some practice, then read the story to someone else and try to put some expression in the words. I know it takes a lot of practice, but you'll get good at it after a while. And if you miss some hard words, don't worry about it. Your mom or dad or someone will be glad to help you, and you will soon get better with the hard words. And while you're at it, try to find answers to the questions for kids that like a challenge. They're right there on your computer. In fact, you can even ask these questions to people after you read them a story. But if you do this, and if you keep it up, this Grandpa says you will become a much better reader. And that's what I want for you, because that's what you want for you. And now, are you ready for the story of Gideon and 300 brave men, part 2? Here we go. What was Gideon's fleece? God sent an angel to tell Gideon to go and save his people from the Midianites. They were a mean people and had been invading the land of Israel and stealing nearly all their crops every year for 7 years. They also brought their flocks and camels into the land to eat up all the grass. And there were so many animals you couldn't even count them. It was a bad situation for the people of Israel, and they cried out to God for help and mercy. God heard their prayer and called Gideon to be the judge that would deliver his people. But Gideon wanted to be sure it was really God that spoke to him. I think he should have already been sure because he had seen an angel. What do you think? The angel even disappeared by going up into the flame and smoke of the sacrifice Gideon had offered. Anyway, Gideon prayed that God would give him a sign that Israel would be saved through him, and here's what he did. He put a piece of wool, called a fleece, on the threshing floor and asked God to make the fleece to be soaked with water and everything around it dry. If God answered his prayer, it would be a sign God would be with him to defeat the Midianites. Well, the next morning, sure enough, the fleece of wool was soaked with water and everything around it was dry. Gideon then asked God to do one more thing. He prayed that when he returned the next morning, the fleece would be dry, but everything around it wet. Well, it happened just as Gideon requested, and he was now sure God had called him and would give him victory over their enemies. Do you know about the 300 brave men that helped Gideon? Come back tomorrow for the rest of the story. and I will certainly be looking forward to seeing you then.